Pemirsa, selamat datang lagi di acara Diplomatic Club. Kali ini kita kedatangan tamu, Wakil Duta Besar Kedutaan Besar Palestina di Jakarta, Dr. Ahmad Metani. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
It's great honor for me to be here at a very timely event.
I'm really privileged to be with you this morning to have interview with experts in politics and diplomatic fields, since I know that you were ambassadors in United Arab Emirates, in Moscow, and before you worked in Australia. So I'm lucky to be with you this morning.
Thank you, thank you. This is not very serious, a bit serious sometimes, but it's light. That's based in my book. It's light. And entertaining diplomacy.
Okay.
First, I would like to ask you how's your impression about Indonesia before you come here? I know that you were posted in Malaysia, which is similar. We speak a bit similar language. And how do you find the communities between Malaysia and Indonesia? And you are here for 6 years. And what do you expect our relations in the future? Mostly, the topic of Palestinian and Indonesia is occupied by all politics thing, But actually there are many areas, When I was in Abu Dhabi, I met a lot of friends, including the Palestinian businessmen who come here very often. And I judge that actually there are many things we can do in terms of trade, investment, and so. How do you see about that?
Actually, I was lucky while I was in Indonesia. Came before I was posted here. In 2009, I took a protocol training course here
in Indonesia,
in IDFR for 3 weeks. And in 2010 also I came for international law training course in Indonesia. So before I moved to Indonesia, I have like little idea about Indonesia.
Dan selain Wakil Duta Besar Dr. Ahmad Metani juga hadir bersama kita, Pak Sarbini ya, dari Mer-C. Kita tahu peran Mer-C yang sangat fenomenal dalam hubungan Indonesia-Palestina. Mer-C juga yang mengelola Rumah Sakit Indonesia di sana, dan kita tahu baru-baru ini menjadi sasaran serangan dari Israel. Nanti saya akan ada beberapa pertanyaan ya Pak Sarbini tentang itu. Okay, now let's continue with your impression about Indonesia.
Yeah, I'm lucky to work here. Indonesia has been in forefront in supporting world peace and human rights. Allow me to thank the Indonesian people, the government, and the leadership for their continuous support for Palestine. Really, during the last 4 weeks, as I was touched with Indonesians, how they react, what's going on in Palestine. Last Friday, I went to school in Bugur, called Salman Farsi School. And once I entered, it was morning. Really, they make my day. Little children, all of them with Palestinian flag and kufiya. And, they welcome me in very warm way. Really touched my heart. And in my embassy, every day I receive people from Indonesia for solidarity. And so many schools comes to the embassy. And these people, these young children, they try to understand what's going on in Palestine. And I really enjoy with them, and I try to explain to them in details. Some of them are crying. And I feel that Indonesia beside and behind us. And this new generation will be freedom and peace-loving people in the world, and will be supported. And inshallah, some of them will be leaders. Indonesia is far away from Palestine, but still the Indonesians share our pain. And I received some people in the embassy really very old. And they come, even they cannot speak English, and I bring my translator. And they talk about Palestine and it cries. Sometimes I feel no need to explain for Indonesian what's going on in Palestine, because they follow more than me.
Yeah.
They follow the news more than me.
Especially now with the social media, everything
This
is
is
there.
about the people in Indonesia. In political field, Indonesia has been supporting Palestine in United Nations.
Yeah. And one of the earliest country also to recognize Palestine, state of Palestine.
Right, right. And in non-alignment movement, in OIC, in Asian country, as you mentioned, the Declaration of Independence of Palestine in 15 November 1988 from Algeria. Indonesia was among the first country who recognized Palestine as a state. And even now, you know, after the summit of Islamic Arab ministerial meeting in Saudi Arabia, they assigned committee to travel around the world. Yesterday they were in UK and France. They are our foreign minister, the foreign minister of Jordan, foreign minister of Egypt, and the Secretary General of Arab League, and the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia, the foreign minister of Turkey, the foreign minister of Nigeria, and the foreign minister of Indonesia.
Ibu Retno, ya?
Yeah. Her Excellency Marsudi, Retno Marsudi. So I feel that Indonesians, people and government are united in supporting Palestine. And I remember one time Minister Retno Marsudi he say, like any country, there is so many disputes between political parties and blah, blah.
But not in one issue.
But the only thing we are united for Palestine. So,
correct, yeah.
That's why I feel I'm so lucky to work in Indonesia, because I feel the people and the government are very supportive for Palestinian cause. And they understand that the Palestinian people are victimized since 1940s until now.
Now, following your statement, Indonesia is so diverse, we are the biggest Muslim country in the world, but we have also big number of Christianity, Hindu and Buddhist and so on. You know? Correct me if I'm wrong, actually, there's misunderstanding in Indonesia, as if that the problem of Palestinian and Israel, it's a war between Islam and Christianity, which is not. Please correct. Now, forgive me, to read this issue. I think we need to explain to the audience. If I'm not mistaken, the wife of Yasser Arafat, PLO leader was Christian, and then one of the best spokesperson, Hanan Asrawi, and then one of the best negotiator, George Habas,
George Habas,
Could you tell me the
speaker of our president, Nabil Aburdani, also?
The percentage of religions roughly in Palestine at the moment.
Do you know, brother, and in Palestine, we are Christian and Muslims, we are Palestinians, and we face the same tragedy. Personally, most of my friends are Christian, because we don't differentiate between...
Just like Khas in Indonesia also.
Of course, we don't differentiate. And if you notice what's happening in Gaza, by the way, they attack all infrastructure in Gaza. Mosque, church.
Church also.
3 churches destroyed. More than 156 mosques partially destroyed, and more than 60 totally destroyed. Universities, schools, some of them UNRWA schools, buildings, houses, towers, hospitals, ambulance, bakeries, everybody inside Palestine is targeted, from stone to the tree to the human being. So, reply to your question, they attack free church in Palestine. And before, they seized the church in Bethlehem. And they killed some of our Palestinian Christian, and others, they took them as a hostage and sent them to Gaza. So, our problem, it is not religious a problem. Even we don't have problem with Jewish. Jewish was
I saw in the television also that many Jews also protested against their own government.
Yeah. I tell you, the Jewish people came in 1940s, and my father and mother told me, because they were, quite old. I'm originally from Haifa. I moved to Nablus. And our people received them as a guest in their houses, and they feed them and give them shelter, because they were run from Europe countries after the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And some Jewish community, they admit they were never respected as they were respected in Muslim countries and Arab countries, because a lot came to Morocco, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, and others. But the problem started with Balfour Promise. Once they give what they don't own to the people they don't deserve. We have a problem with Zionism ideology. With state of Israel, not with the Jewish people. By the way, so many Jewish people supported the Palestinian cause in USA. And now I want to tell you about that. Professor Naum Chomsky,
yes.
I know you know him.
Yeah, he's very famous. Yeah.
And I quote, he say that Israel government rely about historical story more than 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody in this world can accept or agree about historical story of more than 2,000 years ago. And if somebody want to play that game, the Palestinians have references before 2,000 years ago in Palestine.
Yeah, already there. Yeah.
Regarding the religious excuse, Israeli leaders and public figure from the beginning until now, most of them non-believers and godless, but rely on the religious story to achieve political objectives. So, and it's clear for all the works. The Jewish people had so many problems in Europe countries before the Holocaust. So many massacres happened to them, and there were discrimination. In the country, they don't allow them to stay in their places. You know. And one theory says that they send them to Palestine, they want to get rid of them. Seriously, this is what the Jewish people say. But we receive them as brothers and sisters. Brother, we want Jerusalem to be the place for dialogue for all prophets. We don't have a problem with religion. But Israelis try to create fake stories, to give them the right to take Palestine and kill the people in Palestine.
Yeah, like for us, government position also clear. It's about occupied territory, about colonialism.
Yeah.
And our
Right.
constitution stipulates that we are against any kind of colonization. So
Right.
that's our basic
Right.
stand about Palestine. Of course, supported by, as you mentioned, so diverse Indonesian people with different ethnic groups, different religions, and so on.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you remind me, I have to thank and appreciate all brothers, sisters, friends, all freedom and peace-loving people around the world who support Palestine. Most of them not Muslim. Last week it was demonstration in UK, more than 500,000.
Oh yeah, 500,000.
In USA,
Yeah, yes,
in
also.
France, so many demonstrations in different cities.
And also in
Because they
Australia.
are still a human.
Yeah.
They're still a human. But
There's a boycott in workers' union in Australia on the ships carrying out supposed to be military equipment from Israeli ships, and they were boycott. And
yeah, they do. But I want to say that Israeli has corrupted the Western. And the Western, they need time to recover. Has crashed the image of Western countries. Because Western countries promote democracy, freedom, equality. And now, nobody believes about us, about them.
yeah.
Because what's happening in Palestine, what do you call it? Massacre, genocides, collective punishment, war crimes. I cannot find a vocabulary in international law can explain this sin.
Yeah.
Can you imagine now more than 4,000 civilians under the rubbles? I saw one video. The dogs eat part of the baby after die. It's really shocked me to my core. You know, not because only the Israeli bombed them. Because the ambulance and civil defense cannot reach them. You see what's happening in Al-Shifa hospital. They siege Al-Shifa hospital. They enter Al-Shifa hospital. They evacuate Al-Shifa hospital. Most of the people that are in intensive care die in front of the international community. The kids in incubator, some of them die. I feel it's war. This war is called hospital war.
And the buckets on the
In
facilities,
front of
electricity.
the international community. And at the beginning of this war, you remember the foreign minister of USA came 3 times to Israel. The Chancellor of Germany, the Prime Minister of UK, the President of France, and support Israel. And even Americans sent ships with a smart weapon, with smart missiles to kill our kids. I think it's time for international community to stop selective and biased policies in applying justice.
Agree.
It's time, because it was live. And listen to the fake story from Netanyahu, and they don't listen to the live story on the TV. What's happening in Palestine? This has never happened in the history. And after Al-Shifa hospital, they want to Indonesian hospital also. And I think you know what's happening in Indonesian hospital. They siege it, and there are snipers around it. They shoot everybody move. And yesterday they moved most of the patients and injured people to the south, to Khan Yunis and Rafah. Even though yesterday hell rains on Khan Yunis and Rafah, which call it safe zone. They are not safe zone. Allow people to move from south to the north. They attack them on the way. How you can imagine in 21st century to siege 2.3 million people without water, without electricity, without food, without fuel, petrol, diesel, or other things. Even without, so many times they cut the internet and telephone and calls. And the international community sometimes condemn and sometimes give few words of sympathy. But they have to take it's responsibility. They have to take action. I feel they don't respect international community. You know what I think? After they bombed Al-Mahmadani Hospital, or call it Al-Ahli Hospital, and they killed more than 500 Palestinians and thousands of injured.
Kids also.
And the international community doesn't take a serious action. This is give them a green light to go to Al-Shifa, Al-Andonisi, Al-Rantisi, Al-Aqsa, and other hospitals. Do you think? I know you are ambassador and politician.
I'm private citizen.
And I learned from you. Do you think Israel can do that without a green light from the Western?
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course.
There is a green light to do that.
Yeah. Not only green light, but also financially supported.
Financially, and they send them weapons from the first day. And you know, they pretend that under Al-Shifa hospital, there is military tunnels. And they enter and they didn't find anything. And only killed people in the intensive care and babies in incubators. Really, this is unbelievable. In this time, how they do that, and the international community keeps silent. I'm sorry to say, it's shame for the international community to see all of these collective punishments and massacres happens in Palestine and keep silence.
Now this is a bit more serious question. What is the relations between PLO on the one side and Fatah and Hamas?
No, brother. At the end, there is political dispute. I cannot deny. But at the end, we have the same object, same target. Fatah, Hamas, all PLO parties, they want to liberate Palestine. You know? And, you know, in Palestine, in every house, you can find somebody is Fatah, other is Hamas, other he's with George Habash, as you mentioned, you know. So you think once they bomb in Gaza, they differentiate between Fatah and Hamas or other PLO parties? This is very internal problem, and it will be solved. Brother, in every country, you can find political dispute between parties, like America, between Republic and Democratic. This is not the issue. The issue is the occupation. The main issue is the occupation.
Okay. Few days ago, I think the Palestine Prime Minister Stayeh, Palestine Prime Minister Stayeh reported in the Indonesian paper as well, saying that Indonesia could not be a negotiator, could not be a mediator, because Indonesia is pro-Palestine. So Indonesia should support Palestine. I remember there was an experience in Indonesia in 1947 when the Dutch, also came again to Indonesia with military power, and that attract attention in the United Nations, and finally a good offices committee was established, and there are three representatives. One represented Indonesia, that's Kirby from Australia. And then the Dutch appointed Belgium representative Paul Van Gielen, and then US the neutral one like Frank Graham. So this might be a good idea, to not. So, I mean, it's so complicated, but I think it's good also possibly that UN again, establish like good offices representing those, and if we could be representing Palestinian, for example, and then
As I mentioned at the beginning,
Yeah.
now the minister Rutno Marsoudi with my minister in UK and France, in Europe country, and after that they might go to Moscow. We hope Indonesia to be a moderator, but does the Israeli accept that?
Yeah, but
They
we
know
don't have-
that Indonesia is
we don't
supporter
have
for
diplomatic
our cause,
yeah.
you know. Indonesia is the biggest Muslim countries, and it has influence in the international communities. And Israeli know that the government here and the people supporter of Palestine, because Indonesian believe they don't support any occupation.
Yeah.
They don't support any occupation, and they believe about human rights and peace in all over the world.
Yeah.
They want other country with double standard strategy
yeah.
to be negotiator
Yeah.
or to be moderator.
Yeah. That's a good point, if you and again reestablish that good offices committee,
Brother, if you notice our president's speech in the United Nations every year, he asked, and of course, United Nations, everybody knows that the biggest organization,
Yeah.
to have international conference for peace. And he challenged them to implement one United Nations resolution or Security Council resolution. And the world doesn't react, which support Israel to behave as a state above the law. Brother, peace is our ultimate goal.
Yeah.
It's Palestinian, Arab, and international interest. Actually, it is within our reach if there is political will and sincere intention to achieve it for better life for our people. But Israeli government nowadays, most of them are extremists. The extreme government. From the right wings,
Yeah, right. Especially now with
2 weeks ago, one minister says that why we don't bomb Gaza with the nuclear. Can you imagine? Other minister
I heard
says
that.
we have to kill all the children in Gaza because those kids, once they grow up, they will be terrorists. Other minister in West Bank, Ben Ghafir, he distribute thousands of weapons on the settlers.
What is it?
Thousands of weapons.
Weapons. Okay.
MIM-16s and other on settlers to attack our villages and farmers. By the way, in this world, there is, in my opinion, there is strategic target for Israel. Once they attack the all infrastructure in Gaza, as I mentioned before, I would repeat, hospitals, mosques,
Schools.
church, schools, ambulance, bakeries, houses, towers. Now, 50% of the houses in Gaza destroyed, which means more than 1 million homeless. And in West Bank, once he give weapons to the settlers, they distribute a statement on our villages in West Bank, move to Jordan fast before we kill you. So the strategy, in my opinion, for transferring our people, because Gaza, now, in their opinion, it is not suited for life. If no school, no hospital, no universities, right?
Yeah.
No house, because they have a bigger problem, big strategic problem. Because the population of Palestinians between the river and the sea more than the population of the Jewish people. One state solution cannot be. Two-state solution cannot be, because 800 settlers in West Bank.
Already. No.
Yeah. So they want Palestinians to leave their house and leave the country. They have two choices: to kill us or to
To travel away.
travel away. Yeah. So that's why maybe you ask yourself, why they attacking civilians? Why they attack hospitals, schools,
Yeah.
schools, ambulance, water source, bakeries. So this all infrastructure destroyed in Gaza, which means they want to have Gaza not
Suitable for life.
suitable for life. And by the way, now because the war on Gaza, all of us focus on Gaza, even myself. But if you know what's going on in West Bank, they arrested more than 3,000 people. They killed more than 200. This morning, they attacked Hebron, Nablus, Jenin, Bethlehem, every day. Yesterday, they killed 7 in Tulkarm. And it's very difficult to move from city to city or from village to city, not only because the checkpoints, because the settlers attack the Palestinian base. They put 800,000 settlers in West Bank because they want the two-state solution impossible. Tell me, how do you conceptualize and operationalize the theory of two-state solution on the ground while there are 800 settlers in West Bank and East Jerusalem?
I think that's the strategy, to make it failure.
Yeah. We have been negotiating them for 30 years.
Do you think the
30 years, but those people, they don't. By the way, the two-state solution was proposed by the international community, not by Palestinians. And Palestinians accepted, even though it was very painful compromise. To take only 22% of our historical land and give them 78%. And even Israel didn't want that. Because no real pressure from the international community on the Israeli to implement that. And if you go to any Western countries, they say, we believe about two-state solution. And some of them, they don't recognize Palestine as a state. Right? Even though in 2012, we, in General Assembly, were recognized as observer state, right? And for the settlers, in 2016, we got resolution from Security Council, not General Assembly, 2334, that all settlements in West Bank and Jerusalem are illegal. But nothing is implemented on the ground.
And there is a privilege of Israel to ignore all the UN resolution. Because there is a strong figure behind. Now, we have a representative of Mer-C, Pak Sarbini yang kita tahu Rumah Sakit Indonesia dikelola oleh Mer-C, dan kita tahu juga baru-baru ini diserang, dan sampai sekarang mungkin 3 orang dari kita masih belum ketahuan di mana ya. Mungkin Pak Sarbini bisa update ya situasi terakhir rekan-rekan kita di sana. Walaupun tadi pagi saya baca akan ada gencatan senjata, tapi juga berita terakhir masih ditunda. Kira-kira posisi terakhir kita di mana di Rumah Sakit Indonesia di sana, dan berapa sekarang orang yang sedang dirawat di sana?
Sekarang Rumah Sakit Indonesia kosong. Israel telah mengepung, telah menduduki Rumah Sakit Indonesia.
Jadi kosong sama sekali.
Kosong sekarang itu. Jadi Israel sekarang yang penuh dengan serdadu Israel untuk menduduki Rumah Sakit Indonesia. Dan 3 relawan kita ini beserta seluruh staf dan warga di Bidlahiyah sudah mengungsi ke selatan, ke hospital Europe dan hospital An-Nasser Jadi stafnya itu ke 2 rumah sakit, dari lawan kita ke salah satu sekolah madrasah di Rafah, dekat dengan rumah sakit Eropa. Jadi ada hal yang menarik nih Pak, hal yang menarik bahwa rumah sakit Indonesia ini kan menjadi simbol hubungan antara Indonesia dengan Palestina. Jadi hubungannya luar biasa. Jadi selama lebih 40 hari perang ini, yang menjadi sorotan warga kita, masyarakat kita ini adalah rumah sakit Indonesia.
So actually now the Indonesian hospital is empty, occupied by
Yeah,
Israel.
I know.
And
Actually, they changed Al-Shifa Hospital and Indonesia Hospital like military base, you know?
okay, silakan.
Jadi kita melihat bahwa betapa bangganya rakyat Indonesia itu dengan rumah sakit Indonesia yang di Gaza. Seolah-olah bahwa rakyat Indonesia ini melindungi bangsa Palestina atau rakyat Palestina dari serangan-serangan Israel. Jadi tiap saat itu berita tentang rumah sakit Indonesia dan 3 relawan Indonesia ini luar biasa sekali. Dan
Sampai sekarang posisi itu belum ketahuan.
nah sekarang udah ketahuan.
Oh, sudah.
Nah kemudian semalam itu saya tiba-tiba dapat berita Pak. Berita itu yang sangat mengagetkan bahwa 2 relawan Mer-C ini ditahan tentara Israel. 1 hilang. Jadi kalau mungkin
Itu yang tiga
ya,
yang kemarin.
ini berita kemarin ya, berita semalam. Jadi ya mungkin kalau teman-teman bisa membacanya bahwa itu mengagetkan Indonesia Pak. Salah satu
So the latest information, 2 of the Indonesian volunteers arrested by Israel, and you follow this one.
Yeah,
And
of course.
yeah.
Nah, jadi ketika berita itu muncul dan kita jam 7 malam membuat konferensi pers untuk membantah bahwa berita yang mengatakan 2 warga negara Indonesia yang ditahan itu tidak benar. Dan saya ingin mengatakan bahwa 3 orang kita ini benar-benar menjadi perhatian dari seluruh rakyat Indonesia, 3 relawan kita ini, Pak. Nah, jadi fungsi rumah sakit ini benar-benar maksimal. Jadi rumah sakit Indonesia merupakan rumah sakit yang kedua terbesar Pak setelah Ashifa. Yang paling besar itu adalah Ashifa, kemudian nomor 2 rumah sakit Indonesia.
So actually, it's not true. That 2 are arrested. I think that's like a propaganda from.
Right.
Okay. Now we have also journalists from Kuat.com. I think there is some question from them, please.
Yeah.
Actually, you said about the right-wing political party in Israel. So, if
Netanyahu fall down with his political party, his right-wing political party, and change with maybe more liberal or maybe more moderate party, so it could also should be it the restoration would be having place if the party and the government has fall down and changed with.
Is there any different policy of the right winger?
Actually, no different policy.
Yeah.
All of
Only
them.
the style may be different. Yeah.
Even the people outside the government inspire the government to do more in Gaza. Can you imagine they bring kids and some religious people to sign on the missiles to attack Gaza children? Can you imagine that? Palestinians, they didn't do for them the Holocaust or other things. But the Israeli, until now, in their speech to their people, keep milking the humanity that we killed before and we have to save ourselves. We want peace. We have been seeking peace for more than 30 years. But those people, they don't believe about peace. You know, Norman Finkelstein, Prof. Norman Finkelstein, he is a Jewish American, like Naum Chomsky is a Jewish American.
Yeah.
And I quote, he says, Israel is not normal country. Every 2-3 years, they have war. See, in 2006 with Hezbollah, in 2008-9 with Gaza, in 2014, blah, blah, blah. He say always in their speeches, we're going to attack this country and that country. He said this is not normal. That's why he is banned to enter Israel. By the way, he is Jewish. See, this is democratic country. They call it as a democratic country in Middle East. I have to note about something. Once this war starts, you know what Netanyahu say? They say this war between civilization and barbar. This war between civilization and human animals. Can you please dream with me? Try to imagine, Your Excellency. If somebody of us say that, how would the West react to that? We are human animals, we are barbar. But just I want to explain to the people, Palestine has long history. The first city in the world was in Palestine, called Jericho. You know? So, and he say this war between Israel and ISIS and Al-Qaeda. We are not ISIS or Al-Qaeda.
No, right.
Palestinian resistance or freedom. This war between the Israel occupation. We are under occupation.
Yeah.
Right or not?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And everybody knows that.
And surprisingly, there is no big reports in the Western media about what Netanyahu has just said. It was said in a modern time like this, you know.
Actually, I saw it in the Al Jazeera. I saw it in other TV. But they try to hide some of these statements.
Can you tell me about how apartheid Israel in West Bank in Gaza? Because their experience, because I watched Al Jazeera, something like that, and they share the experience about apartheid.
Of course. I am from West Bank. I cannot go to Gaza. And people from Gaza cannot come to West Bank. Brother, you have to understand that Palestine under occupation. Even myself, I am diplomat. I cannot invite you to West Bank. I cannot give you visa. Because the border controlled by the Israelis. And between West Bank and Gaza, there is areas. We try our best from West Bank to send medical assistance or to take some injured people to the West Bank hospitals. They don't allow. So they divide between West Bank and Gaza. That's why our president say, no state of Palestine without Gaza. And it was very clear. Palestinian state should be East Jerusalem, West Bank, and Gaza united.
Okay, any other question? Yes?
Thank you. Pak Wahid, Mr. Councillor, my name is Gary. I'm from kuatbaca.com, and speaking about Al Jazeera and all over mass media in the world, we observe that the conflict or the clash is not only on the field, on the real in Gaza or in West Bank, but it also has a clash of narration in the mass media narration between pro-Palestine and pro-Israel. And if we mapping the actor, we can say that it is a Al Jazeera TRT word or some small mass media in the world versus West media and the rest.
Right.
Something like that. So this clash of narration between pro-Palestine and pro-Israel, we also observe that it addressed quickly by Palestinian diaspora all over the world. Some of them are influencer and it's effective, but the narration pro-Israel is continue to influence many people in the world because there are big mass media, and we hear that some money involved in there.
I will tell you good news.
Yeah.
I will tell you good news. This war, I read it in an Israeli newspaper
Yes.
2 weeks ago, now maybe more. They say more than 120 billion both pro-Palestine and only 2.5 pro-Israel. Now, brother, the situation is different. Not only the media, there is social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
And social media is very influencing on the people. I tell you something, what happened in 1940s in Palestine, 60 massacres happened, 500 villages destroyed, more than 800,000 people displaced, and others. But in that time, no media, no social media, nobody knows what happened. I know because my father told me. But other people in the world, even in 1982, or what happened in Sabra and Shatella and others,
Yes.
So the social media now is different than before. By the way, even they killed 200 journalists and reporters in Gaza.
Yes.
60 of them officials with the channels, 140 volunteers. See, they target them. But nowadays, I think the situation is better. 10 years ago, I done a research, qualitative research. How can social psychology theories be applied to achieve strategic political objectives? And it was case study compared between September 11, Sabra and Shatella, and what happened in Rwanda between Tutu and Hutsi. And it was in the University of Malaya, my sample, which means quite educated. They killed in Sabra and Shatella 3,000 Palestinians. In September 11, 3,000 America, right? In Rwanda, more than 900,000, right? Once I get, after the interview and the reply, I noticed only 2% of the University of Malaya students know about Sabra or Shatella. Only 1% know about Rwanda genocide, even though 900,000 people killed. But September 11, my sample 100%. And my paper on the Google, you can find it. 100% they know, because the mass media.
The media, right.
And they call it war and terror. Started that expression, right? So the media is very important. But nowadays, in this war, they cannot defeat us. Because there is so many activists in social media, and they can explain to the people.
There's no control, and also, I mean, it's so free. Everybody can be, can run a social media now.
By the way, Israel threatened the Palestinian diplomats, especially in Europe countries and others, because they try to convey the real story. They call them terrorists. Even they call our president, see how they use it, diplomatic terrorists. Because they want us to keep silent, not to say what is going on in Palestine, but we will continue, inshallah, to explain to the international community what's going on in Palestine.
So what's your plan and Palestinian plan to continue pro-Palestinian narration, to continue to tell the world the fact about this?
Brother,
Yes.
we will continue our legitimate struggle. We will work with needed wisdom and courage to protect our people and our political and national achievement, which have been achieved after hard work, which have been achieved after decades of hard work, of long path of struggling and suffering. This is our work, and we will never give up, and we will continue, inshallah, to support our people in all means.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmad.
You're welcome.
It's time for us to close the courses, and we are still one more question. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember in 2018 that Israel forcefully claimed
in Jerusalem, not East or West Jerusalem, but all Jerusalem in 2018, and it's claimed also by United States. But I want to know the status of East Jerusalem right now.
This is that time of deal of the century, right? That is Jerusalem United, the capital of Israel. Of course, this is illegal, even based on Security Council resolution.
Yeah.
And nobody accepted. Only Netanyahu and Trump, right? No. We have United Nations resolution support us. And we have all the international community supporters, and based on the international law, East Jerusalem is the capital of Palestine. Even though they put more than 300 settlers in and around East Jerusalem.
Yeah.
One more question.
Okay.
Pak Wahid,
Yeah,
untuk
okay.
Pak Sarbini.
Last one.
Pak Sarbini, mohon info. Apa kita memahami dengan sangat bahwa Rumah Sakit Indonesia di Gaza adalah simbol hubungan erat Indonesia dan Palestina. Rencana kedepannya seperti apa untuk mempertahankan simbol ini, Pak Sarbini, kira-kira?
Tergantung hasil cerita ya. Jadi kan banyak teori yang berkembang ini. Apakah Gaza Utara menjadi buffer zone? Kan banyak sama kita buffer zone ya. Itu ada wacana seperti itu, kayak di Bandung dulu buffer zone dulu. Dan atau memang ada kenal-kenal yang lain. Jadi kalau masih misalnya mereka balik lagi ke utara, berarti kita bisa mengupgrade kali rumah sakit yang telah rusak itu ya. Tapi kalau misalnya utara dikosongkan dengan hancur, kata Pak Ahmad, hancur bangunan jutaan orang itu kita juga harus melihat ke depan, Pak. Intinya itu masih ada orang di situ, kita tetap akan menghandle rumah sakit itu. Kerusakan yang luar biasa sebenarnya itu.
Tetap mendekatkannya ke masyarakat Palestina.
Kenapa rame, Pak? Karena kalau misalnya yang pemerintah mungkin nggak rame seperti ini. Kan itu uang rakyat. Karena siapa sebagai mungkin semua agama membantu. Jadi rakyat Indonesia merasakan ini rumah sakit saya, rumah sakit kami. Ini mengakibatkan terjadi rasa emosional, tidak usah bisa.
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you, Dr. Ahmad. This come to end of our session.
Thank you for having me. I'm
My
lucky
pleasure, my honor
to have
for you to be here.
dialogue with the senior politician and diplomat, and he is my brother, always with me. Thank you very much.
Feel free to come here. Anything that you would like
it's my
to
pleasure.
convey.
And also our embassy is open always
you.
for you and all Indonesian.
Thank you.
Please.
Jadi pemirsa, ini mengakhiri sesi kita Diplomatic Club dengan tema yang sangat menarik mengenai Palestina. Masih long way to go, masih panjang, tapi tadi juga dijelaskan bahwa ini adalah masalah occupied territory, masalah penjajahan bagi kita. Jadi tidak ada hubungannya dengan masalah agama, karena juga mereka sangat diverse, sangat beraneka ragam. Dan juga tadi kita singgung bahwa Palestina sendiri mengakui kedekatan Indonesia bukan hanya dari segi government, pemerintah, tapi juga dari masyarakat, yaitu people to people, seperti diwakili oleh Mer-C. Jadi ini satu cerita panjang, dan ketika ada isu agar Indonesia menjadi mediator, Perdana Menteri Palestina bilang tidak mungkin karena Indonesia pro Palestina. Jadi tidak mungkin mediator. Mediator harus netral dan kita tidak netral. So itu intinya, dan terima kasih. Sampai ketemu pada acara Diplomatic Club yang lain. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. So have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
interesting.
brother.